Hello friends, welcome to another gorgeous October day here in North Carolina. Gorgeous fall day. Look at the color. Oh, that maple is absolutely stunning. We'll talk about that in another video. What we're going to talk about today, we are here on the back patio. We are going to say goodbye to the summer annuals yet again. It seems like that is kind of the mode of operation around here right now. Say goodbye to those summer annuals, and we're going to plant some really sweet fall color that will take us all the way through the spring in the deck boxes. Also, I'm going to do a little slight trimming on my David Austin roses and my Rose of Sharon because you'll see they're a little out of control and they need to be tamed just a little bit. So this is the spot that we are talking about. This deck boxes, so I'll get up on the deck here and show you in a minute, but this area has just been absolutely stunning all summer, spring, summer, and fall, but it is time to take them out. Before we take them out, we are going to address the two David Austin roses and the blue chiffon Rose of Sharon standard because as you know, roses and Roses of Sharon bloom on new growth. I'm just going to do a slight prune. I am not doing a major hard prune. We will do that in late winter right before spring hits. I just want to kind of gently shape them up so that once we get the summer annuals out and the fall annuals in, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. So we're going to do that. But first, let me hop up here onto the deck and we're going to show you those annuals, and then I'm going to talk about why I'm taking them out. Here we are on the flip side. When we redid the patio and we redid the deck, we put down Trex boards, and then my dad, who is a woodworker, built me these raised boxes that are essentially in an L shape. They are filled completely with soil and compost. They do have drip irrigation on them, and they are massive and beautiful. Remember a couple of months ago I took the hedge trimmers to them and whacked them back completely and about gave some of y'all heart attacks. I'm probably going to give some of y'all heart attacks because I'm ripping them out. But it is at this point it is late October and we're done. I'm ready to get these out so that we can get the fall annuals in. They can get established before the true cold of our winters hit. The standouts for sure, everything has done great. If you can find, you'll find it on Creekside, Gardening with Creekside, when we start selling our spring annuals, summer annuals, the brand new verbena. This is the Super Verbena Pink Cashmere. Y'all, I am telling you, this is an absolute rock star of a plant. Extremely vigorous and wonderful. So look for that. Plum Dandy, you cannot beat Plum Dandy. Look at the gorgeous foliage. I was just talking to a customer on Saturday and her Plum Dandy, she's the same experience. She said, man, Jenny, it is a rock star performer, just is absolutely doing great. It is foliage only. It does not produce flowers. Who needs flowers when you've got that beautiful color contrasting with your other plants? Another one that was a huge performer were the Selenias. These are Selenia, these are Selenia begonias. This is yellow. Look at that beautiful double flower. Have these in hanging baskets and here in the deck boxes, and absolutely love these. Selenias will be available with Creekside also for your spring, summer gardens. And then we have a little bit of saffron finch. Saffron finch is going to be one of the new petunias from Proven Winners, a beautiful yellow, absolutely gorgeous. You will see that in mass planting next year here at the nursery. So pretty simple. What we're going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and get my pop-up container and I'm going to trim the Rose of Sharon and the two roses. Again, I just want to kind of give them a nice little shape, take off this crazy height, and you can see where I had, it's real life here folks. You can see where I had morning glories that had twined up in it, so it just looks rough. So I'm just going to give it a nice little overall shape, nothing drastic, and just clean up these plants so that again you can see the deck boxes from when we are sitting on the patio. We had our first fire last night. It was divine. So we're gonna clean that up first, then we're gonna move up here and basically just rip all of this out. I've got Johnny right down here below me. So there is Johnny, and we're just going to toss all of the debris right down in there. Once everything is cleaned up, then I will meet you back here and we'll do a little chit chat about the plants we're putting in and how much I have to amend the soil, what I'm going to do with the soil, because I'm not sure how much is going to come out when I pull these annuals out. So we'll talk about all that right after we get this done. But first, we're going to clean up. Pruning, say goodbye to the annuals. It's been a great run. Don't feel sad. Be grateful and appreciate the love and the beauty that they have given us. Don't be sad. It's okay. All good things must come to an end. They're coming to an end, and we're going to go to something else that is equally as beautiful for the fall and winter. You know how I always tell you to work smarter, not harder? I'm doing it today. I'm working smart because I asked Gary to help me, and so he's the one doing the hard work. Anyway, it's just fun. The plant's extremely well rooted into the soil, so he's using his Hori. He started with the shovel to get some progress getting the roots out. I think what we're going to do is because these fall annuals that we're going to put in are not going to have massive root systems like these summer annuals do. So we're going to
What is that for being?
super pink cashmere.
Yeah, that's one that definitely belongs in the landscape.
Yeah, landscape. So definitely belongs in the landscape because it has such a massive, huge, vigorous root system. And you can see he's taking the shovel to that one. I mean, it is, if you're gonna put it in a container, it needs to be a huge container that's got plenty of room for the roots to grow, like this container here. Yeah, that's one plant, y'all. Isn't that crazy? So, if you're looking for the most bang for your buck, do the pink cashmere for sure. So, as I was saying, we're just gonna amend that soil. So what I'm gonna do is run over to the garden center. I'm gonna grab probably some Proven Winners potting soil and then some Land and Sea. I already have my biotone. I'll let him finish that. I'll probably move the machines around, so I'll take Johnny, dump all the debris, put the Polaris there. We're just kind of tag teaming this today to get all of these out, cleaned up. But man, look at that. Can you see? Like, look how clean that is already. And then I got the roses and the roses of Sharon trimmed up, and you can see, like, we can actually kind of see out now. So it makes a huge difference. Of course, we love it during the summer when it's nice and full, but I also love ripping it out. It makes my mind clean. So I'm gonna let him keep going, and I'm gonna go grab my supplies. friends. So the boxes have been completely cleaned out. The roses and Rose of Sharon have been pruned back. Looks great. I'll show you those in just a second. Couple of housekeeping things. If you notice, Miss B, she is not with us today. She is currently at the vet. She went in for her spay, and so she's getting fixed today. And so we're going to pick her up this afternoon. So prayers that she will have a speedy recovery and be back to chasing yellow jackets and eating my empty pots before long. So she did great. She was pretty pathetic though, because I think she knew that I was leaving her. So that is where Miss B is, and she may be missing for the next couple of videos because I can't just let her run around because she may end up in the creek. That, and then if you saw Chandler go by, so Chandler, he's actually a neighbor of ours, just lives kind of down the road. He is a landscaper, so he is here today aerating, seeding, fertilizing all of the yard. So you're going to hear him and see him kind of in the background. So that is what all of that is. So talking about these boxes, Jerry cleaned them out really well for me. Left a bit of a mess, but that's all right. It is not gardening till you get dirty, right? And so we'll get all this cleaned up. You can see kind of how low the soil is below the rim. I don't like it to have it super high to begin with, but we definitely need to add some back in there. And there are tons of roots. Now, if this were this way in the springtime, I absolutely would take every bit of this out and put fresh in. And that is exactly what I will do come the springtime. However, like I said, these violas and the cardoons and the things that we're putting in here are not going to have big, huge root systems like the verbenas and the impatiens. It is going to be fine. So what we're going to do is add the Proven Winners potting soil in here. So that will go in first. I have 4 bags. We'll see how far that goes. We may need to add some more. So we've got 4 bags of the Proven Winners, and then I've got 6 or 7 bags of my Land and Sea compost. I'm going to start with the potting soil, then we'll add in some Land and Sea. I've also got biotone down there. We're going to mix all of that in. So I want to create a nice, nutrient-rich, lots of available soil here, because you can see, I think maybe, right, see how there's a good, I don't know, 6-7 inches as far as to get up to here, which again, I don't want it all the way up to here. I probably wanted to go like up to here, so then I can plant my violas, because they're not going to be nearly as tall as the annuals are. So that is what we're going to do there. And then let's mosey on down here, because you can see, I think, what we're going to be planting. Here we go. I have it stashed down here. Do have a couple of extra bags. So there's my biotone, my little bit of extra Land and Sea. I grabbed 5 cardoons. Not sure if we're going to use all of these. And then I grabbed 4 Ascot Rainbow euphorbias. Now, when we planted one of the containers, the unique stone containers over there, I used a cardoon as a centerpiece. And some of y'all were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're using a cardoon. Mine gets huge. It gets like 4 feet tall. Yes, in the landscape over time. We are using these in containers for the fall and the winter. They will not get nearly that big. Will they grow? Absolutely. Are they going to get to be a 4x4? No, they are not. So that's okay. It's all about what are your applications, what are your uses for it, and being aware of that, and kind of knowing how big they're going to get. So it's perfectly fine that we can use these in containers, because they're not going to get that big. Same thing with my Ascot Rainbow, one of my absolute, hands down, favorite perennials ever. It is a fun, evergreen, bright pop of color, has a nice kind of a bushy habit to it that will get tall. It does great for us. And so this one I will definitely go ahead and in the spring when I take it out, I will then move it to the garden. So it is a type of spurge. So there's your tag. Let's see if you can see that. It is a full sun, and it has interest in spring, summer, fall, winter, all the things. It has hardy in zones at 5 to 9, sun to part shade. Great. Prefers well-drained soil. That'll be perfect. And it is a very soft plant. I love the way that it feels. It feels like kind of fuzzy. It is a great one. So we're going to use that as some accents too. And then sweet little violas. This is part of that pretty sure this is part of the Color Max series. We were growing these and I grabbed them out of the greenhouse and I forgot to look to see what the name is. But aren't they cute? And they go really well. It's a different color, obviously, than the ones that are in the ground right here in front of the camellias, but I think they pair quite nicely. And so let's see, you've got, let me pull one out here because I want to show you. Remember over here where I just pruned, see, doesn't that look better? The roses and the Rose of Sharon, much more manageable. We can breathe now. But what I was going to tell you is, look how nicely this viola pairs with the pansy that's already in the ground. And those violas, of course, are going to be right above it, up there in the deck boxes. So those go together quite nicely. I would love to say that I planned that. Not totally. So what we're going to do is Jerry has come back with me, and so he's probably gonna, since he did all the heavy lifting, he's probably gonna run the camera for me, and I'm gonna get the potting soil, the compost, biotone, all the amendments back into the beds. Of course, we're gonna kind of like pull back the irrigation, fix all the soil, put the irrigation back, and then we will begin planting. So I'll see you back here in just a little bit. All right, so Proven Winners potting soil is in, land and seed compost is in, top dressed with biotone, irrigation is laid back down, and then placed the cardoons and the Ascot Rainbows. And I just kind of alternated them. Again, keep it simple, sweetie. We're not gonna overthink this. We're gonna place those. Those are gonna be the bulk of the bed. And then once I get those planted, I'm gonna come back in with my violas and fill in the holes. So we're just gonna have some fun. We're gonna get them in there. Got my handy dandy Felco trowel. So this will be super hard to plant in this beautiful, delicious soil of Proven Winners and Land and Sea. So we're gonna get everybody in, and then I do have a couple of bags left over because, as you know, I like to, when all the plants are in, I will come back and top dress yet again with the Land and Sea compost. It just makes a nice finish to the flower bed, and also because it'll hide the drip irrigation. As I am planting these plants, it'll mix in that biotone, the Land and Sea, and the Proven Winners. So even though right now it's kind of like a lasagna action going on in the flower bed, as I plant, it'll all get mixed up together. So I'm just going to get these babies planted and then enlist Jerry's help to get things cleaned up. He'll get the blower out for me, maybe get it all nice and neat and tidy, get everybody watered in, and we'll see you back here in a couple minutes. Okay, my friends, today's project is complete. The deck boxes have been cleaned up, they have been replanted, and they are going to give us months, we'll just say that, I was trying to count in my head, and it's not gonna happen, months of color, and they will be ready for summer annuals, gosh, before we know it. I can't even get to Christmas yet, and I'm already talking about next summer. But these are looking gorgeous. Beautiful. I love it. Nice and simple, right? I keep things simple in the fall. This is actually the first time I've ever planted this for a fall and winter. Normally I leave it empty. So, hey, I'm making progress. I love how the cardoons, they are going to fill up, go up and fill out. And then of course, these violas, we were growing these violas ourselves, and they are on the small side right now. Their roots had gone through the entire cell, and so they were nice and established, but they are on the smaller side. Come spring, you're not going to be able to see any of this compost. I mean, it is going to be completely full and glorious. I do have some tulips and other fun spring flowering bulbs. It's mostly tulips. That Color Blends is pre-chilling for me, and they're going to ship the week of like December the 4th, I believe. My plan is to come in here and pop some tulips between the violas and these other plantings, so that way in the spring we'll have tulips popping up as well. So that is my plan. So if you want to go ahead and plant your fall plantings, go for it. And if you're waiting on your bulbs to chill, but if you're like in the south like me, you need to do that, or have your bulbs pre-chilled so that they are beautiful for you, because those tulips require a certain number of weeks and at a certain temperature. I don't stay consistently cold enough, so we have to either put ours in the refrigerator or let Color Blends or another company chill them for you. Go ahead and plant your fall annuals. When the bulbs are ready, pop them in between, you'll be good to go. You can plant bulbs as long as the ground is not frozen. All right, let's go down and take a look from the deck and see how it looks down there. From here, it looks much more neat and tidy and cleaned up. I really love the euphorbias. You know, they're nice and kind of that have that yellow look to them, which actually complements the yellow violas that are both here in the beds, and then the nice soft pale yellow that are in the western urns. So that color ties in quite nicely. You can see the roses and Rose of Sharon, much more manageable. You're not going to get attacked as you walk by them now, and they are doing just great. Of course, you will prune these really hard and the full correct way in late January, February, that kind of time period. So for now, they will be just fine. And can we take a moment to appreciate the Scentlandias and how pretty their fall foliage is right here. So the Scentlandia is starting to turn a nice burgundy color. Great, great fall foliage. So yes, deck box is cleaned, new plantings. Is it small and petite and simple? Why, yes it is, just the way I like it. All right, my friends, get out there in your garden, enjoy your time outside, and whatever it is, enjoy the season. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for gardening with Creekside. Bye, friends.